Welcome to the 2-pint software DeployR installation guide. In this guide, we will be covering the installation of DeployR. There are 3 guides in this series. The DeployR Prerequisites guide is the first guide in the series. The DeployR iPXE Anywhere installation guide is the second guide in the series and is required for PXE booting or the creation of self-signed certificates. The DeployR installation guide is the last guide in the series. Complete each guide in sequence before proceeding to the next. The DeployR console is located in the StifleR dashboard. Because of this, DeployR has a dependency on StifleR server and the StifleR dashboard. In this guide we will be covering the installation of StifleR server, StifleR dashboard, and DeployR. In addition, DeployR requires internet access. If installing DeployR in an environment without internet access, please see the section in the documentation called Internet Access, Disconnected Mode for more details. Before starting the DeployR installation, there are a few things to consider. If you are still deploying desktops, laptops, and servers that are domain-joined, then DeployR should be installed on a domain-joined server. DeployR can securely join systems to a domain using offline domain join. Other methods can be used to join systems to a domain that do not require the DeployR server to be a part of the domain, however, these are less secure. In addition to StifleR server and StifleR dashboard, the other DeployR prerequisites include Windows Server 2019 or above with Microsoft.NET version 4.8 or higher. Administrator rights. Visual C++ runtime is only required if you plan on installing 2 PXE server. A SQL database and permissions. Windows Assessment and Deployment Kit. .NET Runtime. .NET Desktop Runtime, ASP.NET Core Runtime and PowerShell 7.4. Ensure the prerequisites have been installed before starting. See the DeployR Prerequisites Guide for more information. Install StifleR Server. From the Downloads directory, right-click on the StifleR Server zip file and select Properties. Click on the Unblock box and then click OK. Repeat for the StifleR Dashboard zip file and the DeployR zip file. Right-click on the StifleR Server zip file again and then select Extract All. Select the extracted directory and then double-click the MSI file to start the installation. On the StifleR Server welcome screen, click Next. Accept the license agreement. Leave the default install directory. Click Install to begin the installation. Once the install finishes, leave the Launch Configuration Editor box checked and click Finish. For the access settings, enter the appropriate groups or leave the defaults. For the license key, leave it blank for a trial or enter your license key if you have one. Open cert.lm.msc and copy the certificate thumbprint from the certificate that was created earlier. Paste the certificate thumbprint in for the SignalR endpoint certificate thumbprint and the web service endpoint certificate thumbprint. Click on the Show Advanced switch and then type Show in the search box. Click on the Show DeployR Features switch. When finished, click on the Verify button. Next, click on the Save button. Click Yes to start the StifleR server service and set it to automatically start. Open Services and verify that the StifleR server service is listed and running. Open Programs and Features and verify that the StifleR server is listed as being installed. Install StifleR dashboard. In Explorer, navigate back to the Downloads directory. Right-click on the StifleR dashboard zip file and then select Extract All. Select the extracted directory and then double-click the MSI file to start the installation. On the Welcome screen, click Next. Accept the license agreement. Leave the default install directory. Change HTTP to HTTPS and enter the FQDN of the server followed by :1414 for the connect to with SignalR box and 9000 for the web service URL box. Click Install to begin the installation. Once the install is complete, click Finish. Next, open IIS Manager. Expand the nodes and select the default website. Right-click on Default Website and select Add Virtual Directory. Enter StifleR dashboard for the alias. Browse to Program Files, 2-point Software, StifleR Dashboards, Dashboard files for the physical path. Configure back connection host names. When connecting to the StifleR dashboard from a browser locally, it might be necessary to add the FQDN to the back connection host names in order to prevent an authentication loop. Open the registry editor with admin permissions. Navigate to HKey Local Machine, System, Current Control Set, Control, LSA, MSV1_0. Create a new multi-string value called back connection host names. For the value data, enter the FQDN of the server name and click OK. Ignore the warning dialog by clicking OK. Test the StifleR dashboard by opening a browser and navigating to https://fqdn/StifleR dashboard. On the authentication prompt, log on using the local administrator credentials or other credentials that were specified. The StifleR dashboard should open correctly. If not, make sure the certificate bindings are set correctly in IIS. Open Programs and Features and verify that the StifleR dashboard is listed as being installed. Install DeployR. DeployR can optionally use branch cache for peer-to-peer functionality. Open Server Manager. Click on the Manage link in the upper right-hand corner and then click Add Roles and Features. On the installation type, leave the default and click Next. On the server selection screen, click Next. On Server Roles, click Next. On Features, verify branch cache is installed or select it to be installed. In the Downloads directory, right-click on the DeployR zip file and then select Extract. Select the extracted directory and then double-click the MSI file to start the installation. On the Welcome screen, click Next. Accept the license agreement. Leave the default installation directory. Click Install to begin the installation. Once the install finishes, leave the Launch Configuration Editor box checked and click Finish. Open certlm.msc and copy the certificate thumbprint from the certificate that was created earlier. Paste the thumbprint in the certificate thumbprint field. Enter the SQL Server connection string referencing the example provided. Enter https://fqdn:7281 for the DeployR client URL. Enter https://fqdn:9000 for the StifleR server API URL. Turn on bypass authentication. Click the Verify button in the upper right-hand corner. Click Save in the upper right-hand corner and then click Yes to start the DeployR service and set it to automatically start. Open Services and verify that the DeployR service is listed and running. Open Programs and Features and verify that DeployR is listed as being installed. Switch back to the browser and navigate to Administration, Infrastructure Services. Note that DeployR should now be listed. Under the Actions column, click the three dots and then select Approve. Select Deployments, DeployR, Task Sequences. Step Definitions. Content Items. Boot Images. If these all display, then DeployR was installed and configured correctly. Thank you for watching the DeployR installation guide. You are now ready to start using DeployR. Please see our DeployR documentation and videos for how to use DeployR. If you have any questions or issues, feel free to reach out to us.